This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, October 22nd. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by St. Dominic's third graders. Remain standing for a moment of silence for Mel Shower Sr., and continue to stand for the invocation led by Reverend Trey, Public Safety Chaplain.
Would everyone please remain standing here, and y'all can turn around and face the podium? Chaplain, why don't you come up, and then we'll do the moment of silence following the prayer.
May we bow our heads. First of all, God, before we ask you for anything, we say thank you for the opportunity to have another day. I've asked your blessings upon this meeting, that the leaders of our city has give them wisdom to bring this city together even more. I pray for our young people as they are facing challenges, and help us to grow into a better Mobile, so that we may become tools of your glory and tools of your service. And thank you for those who are in public service in our city, who continue to serve day in and day out for their sacrifice. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And if you would, please remain standing for this moment of silence. Today, we want to pause to honor the life and legacy of Mel Shower Sr. You all probably know that over the weekend, Mel died. Mel, of course, true icon in our community. For decades, Mel served as the trusted voice of WKRG News, bringing the news every night with integrity, warmth, and professionalism. I had the good fortune of working with Mel for 7 years. Some of those nights were alongside him, co-anchoring. Mel was the epitome of what a newsman should be. Mel was just a symbol, truly, of trust in the community for so many people. And as we reflect today on his remarkable career and the impact that he had on Mobile, let's now take a moment of silence to remember Mel, and also for his family who were grieving the loss. Thank you. Just a moment. Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah, we want to thank the students from St. Dominic's who have been here touring all day for leading us in the pledge. It's great to see them coming around all of our offices today and spending some time. Thank you, and thanks to all the teachers and volunteers who were here with the students.
Statement of rules.
All right, good morning again. Our president, CJ Small, is out of town today, so I'm filling in, and I'm going to do just a brief announcement of the rules. which I think for most everybody in this audience, you already know what those rules are, which is turn off all of your cellular devices so that nobody is disturbed during the meeting. If you come to the podium to speak, please address all of your questions and concerns to me. I am the chair, and I can direct it then to the appropriate council person or member of the administration. And there will be no undue applause or discussions within the audience as we go forward today. So thank you for your respect and for being here today. Good to see everybody. Lana.
Approval of minutes of October 15th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Communications from Mayor Stimpson.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good to see everyone here. Thank you for coming. I have a couple of announcements, and then I have a proclamation of recognition that I'll read. Today at 2 o'clock, the Secretary of Transportation, Secretary Pete Buttigieg, and FRA Administrator Emmett Bowes will be attending. This is really the first step toward the construction that needs to occur for the passenger rail service to start between here and New Orleans. We're looking forward to him being here. Although he is here for the train, I think we'll have an opportunity to talk to him about the bridge. But anyway, we're honored that he'll be here. He's actually the third secretary that's been here in Mobile in conversation about the bridge, and so we look forward to seeing meeting him today. I have an announcement about Mobtoberfest. That's spelled MOB-TOBER Fest. Obviously, it's October, but it's a Mobile Fest. And it's October 26th from 1 to 5. Our Parks and Recreation Department and Events Department are putting it on to bring a full day of fun and frights. Full day of fun and frights. So join us in Langen Park for games, treats, and spooky activities for the whole family, and enjoy the trail of treats from 1 to 5. You can dress up your furry friends or your pets. There's a contest at 2:30. Stick around for the costume contest at 3 o'clock, and you can register online with the Mobile Parks and Recreation Department. I just want to echo what Vice President said about Mel Showers. He was not only the things that she said, but I also looked upon him as being a real gentleman. And so we are grateful for the service that he provided to the city, the leadership, and the position as a role model for others to aspire to something that he kind of broke the barrier on. So today, we do not probably even think of race when we look at our news anchors or those involved in the news, because of the groundbreaking that he did and the way that he handled it. So my proclamation, I would ask John Fagno to meet me at the podium, please. Okay, and so joining John today, a couple of the board members from the Mobile Museum of Art. We have Gray Reddick, Bill Egerton, and Ronnie Stallworth. Y'all will raise, and there may be somebody else that's on the board. Yep. So, anybody else? Yeah. Okay. So, John is the executive director of the museum, and this is the proclamation. It reads, whereas Mobile Museum of Art, a public-private partnership, was dedicated and opened its doors to our community on October 31st, 1964, and whereas the institution's mission to bring people together and inspire creativity through the power of art fosters empathy and catalyzes the creativity of our region, and whereas Mobile Museum of Art Day signifies the museum's original opening date and the very first day that visitors were invited to the galleries to experience world-class art and programming worthy of our fine city, and whereas Mobile Museum of Art continues to hold a collection of art of the highest caliber and trust for our community while engaging learners of all ages and backgrounds in the transformative learning that can only occur in its galleries. Now, therefore, I, William S. Stimpson, the 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby officially proclaim October 31st, 2024 as Mobile Museum of Art Day in the City of Mobile. congratulations to you, to the board, and to all your employees. And I hope you'll say something about the exciting events that are coming. If you'll hold this, we'll take a quick picture. Okay. So, and if you want to introduce any of the staff that's here.
I certainly will. And I promise to be brief. With our 60th birthday nearly here, the future is bright for Mobile Museum of Art. Our strategic plan and our mission statement have positioned us to be a stage where people from all walks of life can come together, explore new ideas, have new conversations, learn about the creative process, and experience world-class art together. I'm joined today by members of our team on top of the board members that Mayor Stimson mentioned. We have Joe Lett, Mary Beth Lurson, and Leanne Kenny. They're the best in the business at what they do. And we do want to be sure to express our deepest gratitude for all of your support and also for this proclamation of MM of A Day. You may have heard we have a big birthday coming up. Many of you have been invited to our VIP First Look reception for our long-awaited exhibition, 1960s Hard Edge and Op Art Tribute to the Responsive Eye. That's Thursday night. There are still some tickets available for our big birthday bash on Saturday, October the 26th. And I do want to be sure that all of you and your constituents know that we have our community birthday party coming up. It's a family-friendly event that will occur on November 9th. It will include face painting, a petting zoo, the burial of a time capsule, and of course, art-making activities at an event that is free and inclusive to all. And certainly, we look forward to welcoming our city and our community to the museum for many years to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you coming. So I want to know, what are you going to be dressed up, or what will you look like in your 1960s era costume?
So I won't give away too much, but think Keith Richards in his heyday.
Okay, we look forward to that one. Thank you so much. And Ms. Paffenbach, before we go too much further, we need to call the roll.
Okay. Roll call. Vice President Gregory.
Here.
Councilmember Penn.
Here.
Councilmember Carroll. Council President Small. Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Woods.
Here.
And Councilman Carroll has a proclamation.
I'm good. Go.
Good morning again to the City of Mobile, to the council, mayor, members in the gallery today. Being that Mobile is a historic city and we have so many properties that were built before 1968, and that date being such a prevalent date is that in the United States of America in 1968, the federal government decided to stop using lead paint on houses and on interiors because of the harm that it caused to children and to adults if it was consumed or gotten into your body, into your systems. So today, the City of Mobile would like to offer this proclamation to the Mobile County Health Department in recognition of lead-free. So it reads, whereas the Mobile County Health Department and the Alabama Childhood Lead Poison Prevention Program strives to support efforts to ensure that all children living in Mobile County and in the state of Alabama are lead-free. And whereas each year, National Lead Poison Prevention Week is called to bring together individuals, organizations, industry, and state, tribal, and local governments to increase lead poison prevention awareness to reduce childhood exposure to lead. And whereas whereas lead is a naturally occurring metal that can cause negative health outcomes outcomes, this observance highlights the many ways parents and guardians can reduce children's exposure in their environment and prevent serious health efforts. And whereas there is no safe blood lead level in children, which has been identified, and even at low levels can cause permanent disabling conditions, development delays, and behavioral issues. And whereas testing for elevated blood levels is encouraged for children ages 12 to 24 months and ages 24 to 72 months if they have no record of ever being tested, and those living in high-risk neighborhoods. And now, therefore, I, Councilman William Carroll, District 2, and the members of Mobile City Council, along with the Mayor Stimson, in support of the efforts to advance the health and safety in Mobile, Alabama, do hereby proclaim today, proclaim this week, October 20th through 26th, 2024, as National Lead Poison Prevention Week. Thank you so much for everything that y'all do. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be brief. Good morning to the city councilman, to all community members present. Thank you all for this recognition. Lead poison prevention is so vital to our kids in our, not only our city, but our county. So I appreciate this proclamation.
Adoption of the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance at Spanish Plaza on October 26th from 6:30 a.m. until 11 a.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We have a request for a waiver of the noise ordinance at 1131 Dolphin Island Parkway on February 2nd from 11:30 a.m. until 11 p.m.
Motion to lay over 1 week.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing to fix costs for demolition of the structures at 1609 Jesse Street, 502 Lott Street, 910 Montgomery Street, 1112 Newman Lane, 2459 Richardson Street, 1109 State Street, and 7630 Avenue C.
These are public hearings. If there is anyone in the audience who would like to speak to any of these that were just read out, please come to the podium and give us your name, please. And which property you were speaking to?
Well, this really can go to any of these, but specifically the 502 Lott Street and the 910 Montgomery Street and the 1112 Newman Lane, 2459 Richardson Street, and 1109 State Street.
Okay, and you are Mr. Reggie Hill.
Yes, ma'am, I am. Thank you for that. I just had a brief question. I had the opportunity to speak with some people within municipal enforcement, and I know that we just finished the 01-902. I believe that's what it was. It's a twofold question. Are these items particularly being considered as well for the revitalization efforts that came with the new ordinance that was passed regarding the remodeling of structures and revitalizing homes in particular areas? And as well, I'm under the impression, to my knowledge, that municipal enforcement, the department, particularly under the direction of Mr. Jamie Roberts, has made some new efforts with looking at some of these blighted properties to go out and possibly restore them or refurbish them. And I don't think any of that has been made clear or presented to the public. So I'm just wanting to know if we can get some update if these structures here have been considered for the new ordinance, and what is the process under that direction, Mr. Roberts, when it comes to identifying those structures and then potentially revitalizing them?
Well, that is a very broad question. Do you have any other, at this point, is that it?
Oh, no, those are the only two.
Okay, for this, yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can go ahead and have a seat, and I'm going to ask Mr. Carroll and Mr. Doggenbun. I don't know if Jamie is in the audience, but we can answer that question. But you can go ahead and have a seat, Mr. Hill. That's fine. We'll get
Okay, I just wanted to see if someone was going to answer. Thank you.
I understand. David? No, this is kind of broad, and you may not have been
So-
expecting it, but if you wouldn't mind just giving us.
Madam Vice
Let
President,
me,
I would say
but-
Mr. Hill can submit his questions in writing to
Okay.
the administration, and
All
we'll
right.
respond accordingly.
All right, that's fine.
Also,
Overrides that, David. Thank you, Mr. Carroll.
yeah, also to be extremely clear here, the target area for revitalization is bound to a specific area. And those projects or properties are targeted within the campground, within the ordinance of a boundary that is clearly given. The houses that are in Plateau are in Plateau and Magazine based on street address. There was a moratorium on some of these properties because of the want to maintain the amount of historic structures that we had out there to make sure we met the quantities needed for the historic designation. The properties that you see that are coming down because they've been vetted and proved that they could not be saved. Are they properties that are being considered within the revitalization effort right now? No, they are not. They are projects that were hazardous and dangerous to the community and to the people. So they have been taken down. What you're seeing, I think we're fixing costs, which means they have already been taken down and they are not currently on any list. And may I also repeat, which I repeated several times, the city is not out to take anyone's property or the dirt or anything or any title that belongs to anyone that has a clear owner. So let's also make that clear today, too. Thank you, Ms. President.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll. Go ahead. Anybody else on any of these public hearings for the properties?
Yes. Good morning, Sabrina Mass. So I would like to say many times that things have been submitted to the administration. What timeline is it going to be when these things are submitted that would be a feedback to the community or the person that's sending this in? Thank you.
All right. Anybody else on these public hearings? All right, the public hearing's closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Sandra Record.
Is Ms. Record in the audience today? Okay.
Apostle Valenia Green.
Good morning.
Morning.
Apostle Valina Green, 603 Delaware Street, Mobile, Alabama, 36603, the Downer Bay community. Good morning to Mayor and Mayor's office, council, and women in leadership that are represented today, and the ones that are watching online. I come to you today. I've sent 3 letters asking for help with transportation, with disaster readiness, to be able to serve the poor, the needy, the disadvantaged, anybody affected by disaster and storm and be disaster readiness. Also, too, I've asked for operational expenses with a soup kitchen that serves Alzheimer's patients, dementia, cancer patients, the needy, the ones that have moderate to low income that maybe have food insecurities. I was told I was supposed to get funding. That has not come forth. And then I get a nice little letter about a change. Also, too, I asked for help with the soup kitchen, where I have 4 chefs with me, and we're going to teach culinary arts. We're going to teach people that want to get a job and work and learn culinary skills under 4 chefs in the city. I was told I was going to get funding for that. Then I get a nice little letter that says, no, I'm not. After me and Mr. Young, Kendall Young, had a nice little conversation. So I don't understand why we are neglecting our disabled when that cancer patient has cancer and can't cook, or her tatas are being taken out and she's cut in the back and can't raise her arm no farther than this and can't shower. I provide meals. Master Gunny House, who puts on the Veteran Day, we served her sister that was blind. also to the best friend, a lot of others. So what I'm asking you is where's the funding? And why am I always being bullied? Why? Okay. Number 2, 602 Charleston Street. Mr. Carroll was the developer of the disabled.
Remember?
Okay, disabled. I'm sorry, Ms. Greco. The disabled and the neighbors are concerned that the property was stolen. We did not intend to say the city said. We never said the city stole. We said we were concerned about Mr. Carroll, who was the developer. So we ask you for a private investigation on that because they are mentally challenged. So we want to know, can we get a private investigation in Down the Bay? And during the time of the private investigation going on, we asked for Mr. Carroll's business to be
Apostle,
shown.
remember,
Yeah.
you address all of your concerns
Okay,
to me,
I'm
and
addressing that.
we don't allow for any specific addresses of any council members, and your time is
Okay.
concluded.
Well, what?
It's concluded.
Oh.
Time is up.
Betty Shin.
Good morning. This is going to be pleasant, I promise. I'm Betty Shin. This is my classmate, Eddie Washington, and my classmate, Bernadette McLeod Peterson, Robinson. Don't put it on the clock yet. But anyway, we're proud graduates of the Central High School graduating class of 1968. And Bernadette and I are members of the Central High School Wildcats Alumni Association. We are maroon and white wearing, marching 130, a legend never dies, mighty, mighty Wildcats. We rise today to extend special invitations to my distinguished council member, William Carroll, Council President, Vice President Gregory, the Honorable Council Member Corey Penn, the renowned council members Reynolds, Daves, and Woods, our mayor, executive body, and the citizens of Mobile. This Sunday, October the 27th, the Black Voters Matter bus will roll through Mobile to encourage, inspire, and motivate the voters for the to vote in the general election on November the 5th. This is the most consequential election in our lifetime, like all elections. Please meet the CHS Wildcats at 2 p.m. Sunday at our old stomping grounds on the Avenue, now MLK. We cannot and should never forget our past or the sacrifices made by our ancestors. Too many gave too much for us to ever take the right and the privilege to vote for granted. I still recall news clips with Walter Cronkite showing pictures of men, women, and children being beaten, bitten by dogs, fire hoses sprayed children down city street blocks, not to mention the indignities of being asked to recite the U.S. Constitution verbatim or asked how many marbles are in a jar for the right to vote. Sadly, some have drank the Kool-Aid and convinced that politics have nothing to do with them. Politics is who get what, when, where, and how much. Our past is in our minds. Our future is in our hands. Eddie.
They say Central is dead. That's a lie. Central won't be dead until the last Centralian dies.
Wildcats for life. See you Sunday.
Ms. Shin, do you have
at 2 p.m.
Yeah, go Wildcats, right?
Go Wildcats.
Do you have a
Go
map?
Wildcats.
Hey, Ms. Shin, do y'all have a map of where the bus is going and when it will be there?
It'll be directly in front of the campus at 1365 MLK.
Okay, you said something about it was going to roll?
The campus is Pathway, called Pathway Now.
Oh, okay, so it
It
will
was
all be
Bishop
done at the
State.
campus? Okay.
We'll be directly in front of it.
Oh, okay.
Do you also have a PDF of the event? I mean, our newsletters go out Thursday and Friday. We can also get it out
I'll
at the
send it
same
to
time.
you.
And one more thing, when you say that, they say Central is going to die.
No,
and
they
when
said
the
it was
last
dead.
members
That's
are
a
dead.
lie.
Well, it never dies. I mean, because it lives on in the next generations. My mother was a 1959 graduate of Central High School. So the thoughts, memories, and teachings rang on with all of us, especially with those that had an opportunity to grow up and walk in the campground and walk down through those streets. I know what it was like. That's why it's so important for the revitalization of that area to happen. So I am definitely with you, and I'll make it a point to stop by and see you guys on the 27th.
Thank you so very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Wildcats for life.
Madam Vice President,
Yes, sir, Mr. Penn.
thank you so much, and thank you, Ms. Shin and everyone that came down. My aunt also was a graduate of Central, the great Central, so go Wildcats. And thank you so much for everything that you're providing. I have attended some already, the events, and it's so vital for organizations like yourself to get the message out, to let the community know that we need to vote. So again, I commend you all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's pass them by.
Reggie Hill.
Thank you, Madam Assistant City Clerk. To the citizens and stakeholders in Mobile, greetings. Reggie Hill is my name. I rise today to address those matters that are listed on today's agenda. I want to start towards the end of that. This morning during the pre-meeting, there were remarks made about the communication being sent to me regarding the municipal voting precincts. I would like to say that I was under the impression that there was more to be done by the administration, and I was asking for a specific date. But to the understanding from today, I learned that there will be coming at a later time. So I hope that somebody can inform us, because we do know that there are people that are announcing as well. We do know I've served as a county election officer multiple times. In several instances, we have individuals that come in and they kind of cause a fuss because they expect us to be in a particular area, and then the area ends up being different. So to kind of avoid all of that, I just thought it'd be necessary to get that out, as early as possible. Let's look, please, at the OPR component. The status of those cases that we're dealing with Judge Graddick. Could we just have an update on that, and as well the claims that were made during that same time in which he was there? Since he has been removed from that area, I think that those issues should be under consideration as well. And do we have any status regarding that? As well, with MHA, has there been an audit given to this body or anybody in the municipal government arena dealing with the resources that come down from HUD that are sent to MHA, particularly for areas where we've seen those structures pretty much become dilapidated and have to be torn down? A lot of this, I believe, has to do with the airport authority as well. And then there's some talk as if some of those are maybe going to the CDBG, the home and the ESG grant funding that comes through the community development department. Or neighborhood development department, excuse me. So I'm not sure if those funds are interrelated or how that works. So we can just have an update on that, please. This student analyst, excuse me, is there an opening for this? How is this working, or was this just a transfer of funds? What are those funds going to be used for? Can we just get an update on that? The UDC, the last time that this matter was brought up, the attorney said that this was a state matter, but under my impression, this body, the legislative body, had to pass that. So I'm not sure if we can get some clarity on how that necessarily works. I would imagine that if it being a state law in itself, that would be something that would be done by the legislature, not the municipal government legislative body. And the other matters, we're going to have to take a little more time after they're a little more extensive to get at, but if I'll just leave in this remaining time, we can get some level of response to those questions, please.
Regarding the student, yeah, thank you, Madam Vice President. Regarding the student analyst, my Director Lasky talked about that particular program that's a partnership with the school board.
I'm going to let my deputy director.
Yeah, and Mr. Hill, you can go ahead and
Thank
have
you for
a
yielding
seat
the
as he
floor.
comes down.
Well, like the last time when my name was brought up, I could have responded. That's the only reason I was waiting. I promise I'm not being controversial.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's fine.
Morning.
Morning.
Our student analyst position will be someone who serves in the capacity of working with our existing services, our family intervention team, our victim services, school resource officers. The goal is to be on the ground and to mitigate any problems before they become serious.
Okay. Any other questions? Councilman Penn? You good?
And when is the position going? Is it going to be an open position?
It will be an open position, yes.
Okay. And when will that position be open?
We don't have an exact date yet for when it will open, but we're hopeful that it will open within a few weeks.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay.
Just one other note, since interest is starting to get pretty high concerning the next municipal elections because of redistricting and annexations and those kinds of things. Some of the voting precincts in the municipal election may be different. The clerk's office is working on that as we speak, and as soon as the precincts are settled, that information will be on the city's website, as well as any filing and qualifying deadlines as well. All of that is coming up. The qualifying and filing deadline will be in probably July, right?
It's actually going to be in June.
June this year.
The
Okay.
law changed and the date moved up.
So there will be some changes. Thank you for reminding us about that. And that will all be on the city's website so that there won't be any questions. You will get postcards in the mail prior to telling you exactly where that precinct will be. The thing that gets a little confusing is this election coming up for president and Congress. That is different, and you should have gotten postcards in the mail telling you where your precincts are for that election. If you have any questions, the Secretary of State, even the probate court can answer those questions for you. But the municipal election is a ways off yet. It will be in August, and so the precincts, the filing, qualifying, all of that will be at a different time in different locations. Some of them. Yeah. That's why it's confusing, because some of them will be the same, some of them will be different, but you will get a postcard telling you where to vote.
Resolutions held over. If there's no objection, I'll take them all together. 01986, authorized purchase and sale agreement with the Newark Group for land on Poplar Street for Mobile Greenway Initiative. 01987, authorized agreement with Ransom Cleaning Service for soft wash of History Museum of Mobile, the Gulf Coast Exploриum, and the Telecommunications Building. 01988, authorized amendment to agreement with McElhaney Construction for 2024 annual storm drain maintenance. 08989 and 990 are approving purchase orders to Gulf States Distributors for rifle ammunition and to Precision Delta Corporation for Winchester ammunition. 21991, authorized contract with Georgiana Petrace to provide tennis lessons. 21992, authorized contract with Tyler Schofield to provide racket stringer services. 37993, consider the application of Care Ride Transport to operate a sedan service. 60994 through 997 are authorizing settlement agreements and release of claims. 01999, authorized purchase and sale agreement with One Water for property located at 10 North Water Street.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on these? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes.
Consent resolutions being introduced, 371001 through 581009.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of these items.
All in favor?
We need
Aye.
a second.
Need a second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
371001, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a special events retail liquor license to El Joff House of Cigars on Virginia Street. 401002 through 1008 are fixing costs for demolition of the structures at 1609 Jesse Street, 502 Lott Street, 910 Montgomery Street, 1112 Newman Lane, 2459 Richardson Street, 1109 State Street, and 7630 Avenue C. 581009, declare weeds noxious, Weedling Group 1661.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion? It passes.
CIP resolutions being introduced, 211010.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of this item.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
211010, authorized contract with Sane Associates for Broad and Baltimore Streets intersection improvement project.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolutions being introduced 01-1011 through 01-1018.
By council rules, these items will lay over 1 week.
Announcements.
All right, let's start on the end with Councilman Woods,
No announcements.
Councilman Carroll,
No announcements.
Councilman Daves,
No announcements.
Councilman Penn.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Tonight, we will have our Trenton Gardens Community Meeting. It will start at 6 p.m. at the Dots Community Center. We're inviting everyone to come out in the Trenton Gardens community, or if you're outside the Trenton Gardens community and you'd like to be a part of our community meeting, you're welcome to do that. Thank you, Madam Vice President.
Councilman Reynolds.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I want to announce a community meeting that will be held for District 4 at Kingswood United Methodist Church on December 4th at 6 p.m. Thank you.
All right. And last night I had the opportunity to be with the athletes, the 25 athletes at Dream Court over at the Copeland Cox Tennis Center. This is a group of athletes who are intellectually or physically disabled in some way, to teach them how to play tennis. Some of them were in wheelchairs playing wheelchair tennis. It's all part of a program that originated in Montgomery for the state and now has moved to Mobile. And the goal is to make this a regional type of program. It was a terrific event last night. I was so happy to be a part of it. Shonda Smith was there as well. Thank you, Shonda, and Kim Carmody as well, along with Scott Novak and his team. But these athletes were so excited to be out learning how to play tennis and doing what they can with whatever disabilities they have. They have a podium that they can climb on board. We took photos. And coming up in November, there will be another tennis tournament. It is the ITF tournament. We need some volunteers for this, where we will have athletes with intellectual or physical disabilities playing along with other tennis athletes who are playing, all part of this big tournament. So if you are interested in volunteering, we can put you in touch with the folks at the tennis center. Ms. Smith is also working on that. So it is a terrific opportunity if you have a group that needs some sort of community service hours, or if you're just interested in being out and participating with these wonderful athletes. So again, that was last night. It's all part of Dream Court. You can look that up and get all the history of how this has come about. And I know we have a big event coming up at 2 o'clock. Mayor, do you want to say anything about that?
Yes. So I actually mentioned that earlier, about the Secretary of Transportation being here. So he'll be here at 10 till 2. Those that want to be here probably need to get there down at the foot of Government Street at 1:45. Ceremony lasts for probably 45 minutes, an opportunity to actually get on the Amtrak train. It's supposed to be there at this time. I have a question. During the pre-council meeting, a question came up about the amount of a contract where it said $100,000 and it was supposed to be $1 million. Was that corrected? Yes. What?
Read, Mr. Mayor. It's first read.
Okay, that's what I was
The resolution
sure about.
itself says $1 million. The summary on our agenda sheet says $100,000.
Right, got it. Okay, I just want to make sure that we didn't overlook that. Thank you.
All right. Any other announcements? All right.